So as we take a look at these equations here and we work through them, what I want you to do is recognize that you have access to calculators. So this is not about the computation part. This is more about the thinking, about the patterns. What are you seeing? What can help you? What kind of patterns are you noticing or rules that you're noticing that allow you to correctly solve these equations? All right, so I'm going to go through it. Make sure you ask questions if you still are confused or need assistance after I create this video or whatnot. All right, so let's take a look. Also, I'll be using the equation letters to help you out through the process. So I'll be putting those on the side as I go through the equation solving process. So let's go ahead and take a look at the original equation here. I have -8 times the quantity of 6 plus 5x equals 3x minus 5. All right, so that's the original equation. Let's go ahead and start putting some work in. So there goes my tools. So wait, do I got my tools? Let's go. Okay, now I got my tool. So what letter am I going to apply here first? C, distributive property. And notice how I do it down here. So maybe I should just erase that and put the C closer. So right here. So I apply my smart cut. Lay it out where I'm going to distribute my A2 in terms of multiplication. So anytime that I'm multiplying or dividing or finding a quotient or the product, what I want to remember is that anytime an odd amount of negative signs that I see, the answer is going to be negative. So notice 1, an odd number, negative there. 8 sets of 6, 48. So now we're done with that one. And notice I'm multiplying here. Well, okay, 1 positive, 1 negative. That's an odd amount. Negative there. 8 sets of 5, 40, and bring the x along. Okay, so apply distributive property there. With that said and done, I wind up with -48 minus 40x equals 3x minus 5. Well, looks like I'm going to do an inverse operation because, okay, looks like I've chose the other variable on the right hand side. So right hand v and numbers, integers, constants, however you want to see it on the left hand side. All right, so let's play the game. Let's do a letter A, an inverse operation. Notice I want variables on the side. Okay, so if I want variables on the side, let's start the process of get them removed on that side. All right, so I have 40 negatives here. I need 40 positives. And that'll get me to 0 if I was on a number line or arithmetic. 40 minus 40 equals nothing. What I do on one side of the equal sign, I do on the other. So I have 40 positives over there. I bring those 40 positives over here. So 40 plus 3 gives me 43. I bring the x here. And then I didn't really touch this -5 here, so it comes along with us. So that's it. I did an A, I did an inverse operation. And notice I did inverse operation involving variables here, okay? So let's go down to this part of the equation. -48 equals 43x minus 5. Now remember the rule. I need this side to just be nothing but variables, but notice I have a -5 over here. Now this side could be all numbers. It's looking pretty good, but still got a number on this side over here. So I have 5 negatives and I have 5 positives. Gives me 0, or 5 minus 5, nothing. What I do on one side, I do on the other. So I took those 5 positives over here. So 48 negatives and then 5 positives leaves me with 43 negatives. Okay. All right. So now I have -43 equals positive 43. Okay. X. So let's go ahead and FB. Let me take care of this up here. I apologize. Getting ahead of myself. That's the inverse operation here. A. Notice once again, inverse operation. 5 positives, 5 negatives, so on. Addition, subtraction, I don't know how you see that. And so that's our inverse operation. Notice this time, though, wasn't variables. It was like up here was what? Integers, numbers, a constant. So there we have it. And last but not least, we finish up with our letter E. And our letter E is doing the wind up, find a quotient. So I divide the coefficient by itself. So 43 divided by 43 gives me my invisile uno. And then what I do on one side, I do on the other. So I divided 43 into 43. How many sets of that? One. Whoa. Sorry about that. Let's make it smaller. All right, so wind up there, 1. Wind up there, 1. But notice how many amount of negatives? 1 negative, so odd. So I have x equals -1. I will go over here to do a check because that's just, hey, trust me. Well, let me go ahead and verify. Okay, so trust me, that's the solution. Let's verify. So if I go and verify, if I take that -1x and I apply it to this equation for everywhere there is an x, let's see what happens. So I replace the 5x with 5 times negative. Oh, I didn't put -1. I should have. Let me put a negative sign there. -1. Okay, and then I have where is it? 3x here. So I have 3 times -1 here. So I need to be a little more diligent myself. I was kind of rushing through there and didn't put a negative. But the result is, though, I did notice I had a negative, so I guess down here I had -5. So once I do all this work here, it winds up that we have -8 equals -8. What that means, and this is important, that means that -1 is the correct solution for this equation. Are there any other solutions? No. If I put -1.5, would it come out the same? No, it won't. So this is the solution. There's only one solution. And that'll be important when we get to our next topic, amount of solutions. That's not in this thing, but I'm saying our next new topic. All right, so that would be it. Go back, rewind, whatever you need to, see if you understand that. Hit me with any questions if you still have any. Okay.